Hello, Floss tubers. Welcome back again. So this is the promised finishes. Oh no, sorry, just done finishes. The WIPs, works in progress, and slash UFOs, unfinished objects, and may never be video. I get a little bit bored sometimes, or I'll see a pattern that I just love and I just have to start. So I'm probably not the worst chronic starter, but I do have a lot of starts, especially lately because I put myself on a ban to get some of those done. And so I've gone through a period of start, and a lot of them are heaven and earth, so big, slow projects. So first one, then again, showing them in no particular order. It was more a case of when I found the pattern that went with them and I put it in the pile. So the first one I'm going to show you is Heaven and Earth by Micah Jelena. Is the piece of artwork, and the drawing is called Melita. Now I can only show it to you on my iPad. I can't find a printed copy of the pattern anywhere. I stitch from my iPad. So, which way am I going? No. I just loved her. There was just something about her. So that's the pattern. I had to start her, but as you'll see, very small stitches. I would do my Heaven and Earth on 22 count aider. I find it so much easier. But for some reason, the needle I grabbed is all bent, so please excuse me. That's why it's been tucked in there. I've done that much. Bit of green and a bit of blue. So that's all I've done. I don't park because of the way I taught myself to stitch. I find it really hard to just concentrate on a column of 10 or two columns of 10. It's get everything as I go. I've got to get every, make the most of my thread and be the most efficient use of my thread. I try a couple of times. The only way I'll park, and you'll probably see it later, is if I've followed a symbol along and it's ended up out, whoop whoop, and I've got nothing to finish it under, whoop. And then I'll just leave it sitting there half stitched until I've done more stitching around it, so I can then finish the stitch and then finish it off. So the next work in progress is Persephone. This piece I've hand dyed myself. I saw this design and thought she has got to go on this piece of fabric. To put her on purple and to make her look the best, I've changed out the thread that's used for her wallpaper. It was all watercolours and they were browns and blacks, and they weren't. I'm not the biggest fan of water lilies. The couple of times I've used them, I thought, really? And wished I had gone and found something different in the end. So this time I did go and find something different. So this I used Carrie's Creations again. Again, I hand washed them. I'm using blueberry, deep purple, and Epiphany. And again, hand washed them out. Colours changed a little bit, but not too much. But I did get a lot of colour out of them. Because I can take forever to stitch, and I'm probably not the best at remembering to wash my hands before I pick up, or I have a drink and I always have moist hands, and I've always washed my fabric at the end. I don't scrub it, but I do give it a bit of a wash and a rinse and a iron just to get the dust and stuff off. So this is Persephone. And, I can't find my camera. So that's her. I have been working on her recently. I have made a bit of progress. But that background I got a bit bogged down in doing it, and a bit bored, so I started a challenge last weekend. It was to challenge yourself to try and get as much stitching as possible done in a weekend, and then to put up a before and after photo. And I decided to pick up an old UFO, and I've been working on that pretty steadily all week, and I've really enjoyed going back to stitching it. Now, as promised in my previous video, this is my Teresa Wensler that I have been working on for over 20 years. It's called Storyteller. I'm working it on an even weave, and this is the first time I came across, actually no, it's not the first time, I lie, sorry. There's a sample I did for Mum and Dad that I finished that I forgot to mention in my last video. I did it for their 25th wedding anniversary, and blending 2 threads together. But I'd have to say this is my first pattern where I've had confetti stitching. I didn't know what it was until I started doing Heaven and Earth, and everyone was going, oh, confetti, 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 and they went, ah, Teresa Wensler. So, yeah, so that was Storyteller. I will finish him one day. The fabric is very dirty. He's definitely being washed. But I do hope to finish him. I'm thinking of doing another finishes year this coming year. There are 3 patterns I would like to start. One being a chatelaine. I've had the pattern forever, and I'd like to start that. I would like to get and start the twisted band sampler. I've been seeing that being done, and it's just lovely. I hadn't been really big on it until I've seen up close some of the work and the different stitches, and I think I'd like to really try doing some of those specialty stitches, but I might just start with the band sampler. No, not the band sampler, the chatelaine, because more cross stitch than specialties, but we'll see how I go. See if I can hold off. The next one, this is the one I picked up last weekend, and I've been working on it again. I think it's either 32 or 38 count even weave. It's a hand-dyed piece. I'm going to take out the background. It's a where are we? Character Creations pattern. I've got a couple of these, and it's called Judgment. And I probably should take it out of its plastic. Sorry. Oh, it's shiny fabric paper, so it still may not be that great. So, oh, there we go. You can see there's like a sun behind the head of the dragon, and then the sky is cream. I've decided to take that background out and leave the hand-dyed fabric show. So hopefully it'll look okay. And I'm going to come and put Krynic, okay, see if I can get my finger in the right spot, Krynic over the little magic ball that he's stitching, that he's holding, I should say, the stitching. It's getting a bit... Yeah, so that's Judgment. And this is how much I've done now. This piece of fabric is huge, but I have really been enjoying stitching this week, even with all the confetti. I don't think it's as bad as some of the Heaven and Earth pieces I've been working on, I should say. So this is all fabric. It's a lovely huge piece of fabric. And then here's the bit I've done. Just the one little bit of the wing. I haven't gridded this piece, as you can see. I've just been working out from the center and just working out. There's a couple of times I've had to do a great big unpull because I miscounted the bloody frog. I need to squish that bloody frog. Yeah, and you can see in that one where the threads are hanging out, it's because I've taken that symbol to as far as I can, and I've got nowhere to finish it. and I hate trying to finish under one. So I'll just keep stitching up until I've got a bit of a patch, then I'll finish it off. So that's Judgment. So I have been stitching some more finishes I haven't shown you because I don't have them. I've been doing all of Nora Corbett's reindeers and giving them to my mother and father. Once a year they get a reindeer. So I didn't tell her I was doing it, and got to the fourth one, and I had to let her know that there was actually 9 reindeer and a sleigh to come, all up, because she had to start putting holes in a brick wall to put up some more hooks. So now she knows that every year she gets a reindeer. I have got Rudolph waiting to be beaded, and then I have got the bare bones. Who's this? Donna. So that's Donna. So I've just started. Oh, that light's just not going to work on this fabric. It's too much shiny stuff. Too much Krynic and too much blingy fabric. And white on pale blue. So very small start there. Need to get my butt out. This is not this year's. This year's is already framed, bubble wrapped and wrapped. So I can't bring him out and show you. I'm sorry, he's a gift. So that's the reindeers. So that's reindeer 7, 8. Still got 9 to start and the sleigh to start. So that's the reindeer. So after doing the Christmas bauble, I decided that I was going to do myself a Christmas memorabilia. So I have chosen to do for myself Christmas flourishes. And straight up, going the wrong way. So that, I don't know, can we get in focus? So Christmas flourishes. And this is as far as I've gotten. It's a linen. I have to say I've decided that I am not the biggest fan of stitching on linen. I prefer stitching on even weave. I don't mind stitching the heaven and earth on the fine Ada, but I wouldn't go back to stitching on the bigger Ada, the 14 count Ada. I just love the finish of even weave and the way it stitches. But I just love this piece of linen, so I will persevere and she will be finished. Her and the reindeer and the storyteller are ones that I really would like to finish this year. And Persephone and a whole heap of others I've got. So the next one. This is a UFO, and I'll probably remand a UFO and I'll probably restart her. Because I don't know, I just know there's errors in it and I have just not liked stitching her. And I don't know whether it's the fabric I've chosen or whether it's the pattern. But this is the Mermaid of Pearls, as far as I've gotten on the Mermaid of Pearls. And I just don't know why. I think part of it is the fact that it's the dark fabric. When I stitch, I can see the dark fabric coming through her flesh tone. I don't know. The fact that I've just rediscovered even weave and prefer it over linen could be that as well. Not too sure. But that's Mermaid of Pearls. Okay, this was a new start. It was all for me. It's a sampler style pattern. Not the biggest fan of sampler styles, but I love this. This is called the Quaker Balls. There we go. Quaker Balls. Oh, let's try and get the plastic cover off so we can see that picture. It's not it's going to show up better than some of the others. So these are the Quaker Balls. Now the 3 balls there are all the same pattern. They've just used 38, or is it 40, 32, and totally lost my brain. Cells gone. 28 count fabric. So again, even though I've decided that I didn't like linen was all I can buy. This is supposed to, at Spotlight, it was labelled even weave, but I swear black and blue. It's supposed to be Zweigart even weave. I am going to swear black and blue. It is Zweigart linen. And this, and I've hand dyed this piece navy blue, and I'm doing different colours. There's another, I think there's a purple as well, so I haven't done too many. It's quite enjoyable. I do one every now and then, get one in and finished. It's been a challenge to do it, but it's enjoyable. I tend to use Q-snaps. This is the one that I don't use Q-snaps for. I use those little the plastic with the springy wire frame centerpiece circle, just because I don't have to leave a 3-inch border. I'm only leaving stitchy, what do you call them, a sewing allowance, not a framing allowance. I'm doing them all nice and close, and yeah. So, Quakeable. It's sort of going to be Halloween themed from the colours. Sort of. I just wanted to use the Carrie's Creations colours again. And again, I've washed them out. Lost a lot of colour in the orange and red. But it's still very pretty. The green, I didn't lose so much colour. I'm pretty sure it's purple is the other colour I've chosen. I can't remember now. Naughty me. So I'll probably pick that up and do it again. It might be my Christmas project. Who knows? We'll see. I get 2 weeks off at Christmas every year, and I go to my mum and dad's beach house, and being fair, I sit inside and stitch pretty much all day. Go for an early morning swim and a late afternoon swim, and then stitch between. So, and that's 2 weeks of holidays, and it's enjoyable. This one I don't know if I'll ever finish and pick up again. Although I do still love the pattern. It's another Character Creations pattern. I got the pattern and had to start it, so I rushed to the one and only shop that was open at the time that I knew of. I think I bought the world's worst fabric ever. It's really awful. It's really thin. I wanted a colour that wouldn't show through the black and the blue background or the white, and so I went this purple. I may pick it up. I don't know. I hit a bit of confetti and just went, oh my god, what am I supposed to do here? I think now that I've had a bit more experience, I'll probably try doing a bit of parking on this one. Of a sort, anyway. I do a lot of jumping. I won't try and... When I first started this, I was trying to do it very neat, traditional, don't do big jumps. Only jump 2 or 3 stitches, blah, blah, blah. Now I think if I do pick it up, I am just going to be jumping 10 stitches. Who cares? So, she may get picked up again. We'll see. I have got a lot here. So... I might have to make a rule that every year I work on these particular ones, and these are going to be my finishes. I'm going to allow myself this many new starts, blah, blah, blah. We'll see. I would love to hear about people's rotations and how they work it and why they do it. It's something I'm thinking I might have to start doing, being a bit more strict with myself. Okay, now we start... the heaven and earth. These are, just let me find the artist's name. These are this is a Lyndon Ravenscroft pattern. I have this one and the other one. There's 2 in the series, 1 and 2. And then there is the Atlantis. And I just thought these would be lovely, done up and running it in a hallway. So this is Mask of Colours 2. This is the one I started. So that's what she will eventually look like. Now, I don't think I'm going to get so this is, I'm working her on the Ada, the 22 count Ada, and this is a huge piece. So I'm going to put her length long ways first so you can get a bit of an idea of how long she's going to be. So she is that long. Now, I picked her up again last year after having put it down, and this was my first attempt at gridding. I decided I didn't start her as being gridded. I did most of this without gridding her. It wasn't until I started doing the background and I got lazy with counting that I didn't want to count 50 and then 60. And it was before I'd heard about parking. So I started gridding, and I got a lot further with the background by gridding. So that's the background. Lovely beiges. Beige on beige is so exciting to stitch. And you can see her. I started her in the centre and worked my way up to the top, and then was going to work my way down. So, yes, no. So that is Mask of Colours 2. I don't consider her a UFO, I consider her a WIP, because I still pick her up every now and then and get some beige done. And a lot of my Heaven Earths, they'll be very slow and I won't be working on them regularly, but I will work on them. So the next one is, I discovered that Heaven and Earth had one of my absolute favourite artists. I have been in love with Jasmine Beckett-Griffith's artwork for ages. I just think her morbid little big-eyed goth dolls and goth twists on stuff, just lovely. So this is the first one, Alison Snow White, otherwise referred to Alison Snow whenever I talk about them. I just love them, just their little thing. Can you see, where's my finger? Okay, so I love, which way am I going? Okay, up this way. Love the little sign, I don't know if you can see it, it says eat me. And then if you come over this way, you see the jack-o'-lantern, I call it the jack-o'-lantern apple. And the cat and the raccoon just look wicked. So I just love the contrast too of the red and the blue and the black and the blonde. So that's Alison Snow. Again, didn't grid for this one and haven't gridded this one up yet. I've just been working out from the centre. So I have two arms. So up. So yeah, so almost a whole page. So I don't consider this as never finishes other than those couple I was showing you earlier. I will get there maybe someday. Stay tuned if I'm still doing videos then. And this is Memento by Neen Thomas. It's really funny. She's got a similar pattern called Always. So this is Memento. This pattern is huge. I did not realise what I was getting myself in for. I did not have her gridded, but I measured up and I counted, and I truly hope that I have placed her in the right spot. And I've measured up correctly. I did start gridding for this one. This is when I started gridding, but I sort of gridded from where I started, and I'm sort of gridding as I go. I was using beading Nomo, thinking that wouldn't split so much. I was wrong. You can still split it quite easily. I have since discovered another thread. You'll see it in my next piece. It's like a fishing line, And I love that because you can't split it, and even though you've stitched over it, you can still pull it out through. Sorry, I'm looking down at my pattern. So this is, oh, can you see? So that's the width of my, the length of the fabric. That's the width. And this is what I've done. Oop, going wonky again. So just found the corner of a dress. And her sword is in there, just coming into the picture too, somewhere here. I discovered. So, yeah. So, this way, this way, this way. Sword is somewhere just in there. So that's the bottom corner. Really effective. Lots of confetti in those rocks. Very slow going. But when I started to see the rocks form, it's like, oh, exciting. And then I looked at the pattern. So that amount of stitching is basically that. Which way am I going? Wrong way. That rock there. And that bit of trunk and that little bit of the dress. So, yeah. I have a long way to go because that's the rest of her. So, yeah. So that rock there is pretty much what I've stitched. As you can see, the sword's coming in just there. So, slow going. I picked her up again last Christmas. I might pick her up again this Christmas. Who knows? I always have plans. Oh, I'll pick that one up at Christmas. And I was going to be doing them all at Christmas. So I think I get a bit excited about having 2 weeks off. This one is The Dragon Charmer by Josephine Wall, another favourite. I discovered Josephine Wall as an artist through doing puzzles. And so this is Dragon Charmer. It's full of confetti, probably the most enjoyable background because it's not just one solid block of similar colours. I will say I started her twice. I had started her originally on the 25 count and realised I could not do that. And I upgraded to the 22 count Ada, and I just love working that. So that's what she's going to look like. And this is how much I've done. I think this is the most of any Heaven and Earth that I've done. So I've done a full 2 and a bit pages. So that's Dragon Charmer. She is going to look gorgeous. And I don't know if we're going to be able to pick it up. This is the... no, we're not going to be able to see it. It's a red... It's like a fine fishing line. It costs a fortune, and I'm sure if I could find a fine fishing line that was not clear, it'd be so much cheaper. But because it's sold for basting projects, I think. Not too sure. I don't know where it is at the moment. It's over in my stuff. I'll do a equipment and tools talk later on, and I'll show you that. So that is the last of all my works in progress. Thank you for watching and putting up with it. Hope I wasn't too boring or too slow. I know some videos, I'm a naughty YouTuber. If I find it's going a bit slow, like, yep, seen it, I'll fast forward. I don't mind if you do that. We all tend to ramble, talking about what we love. So, yeah. So, thank you for watching my WIPs and UFOs. Talk to you next time. Bye for now.